chicane. Oh, and that's a big, big moment there. But well held. It was Fabian Volvend. Very, very well to save that. Just got onto the grass and then through the gravel, and the car reacting accordingly. Right, now, is this battle on between Alessandro Vezzoni and Jens Liebhauser? Not at the moment, I wouldn't have said. And Dennis is keeping Jens Liebhauser keen. Now, of course, they're in separate classes. There is Jens Liebhauser. Was so dominant last year, took the Trofeo Pirelli AM Championship. So the Jens Liebhauser car. There's Alessandro Vezzoni, and Vezzoni has increased his margin. Looking back from Jens Liebhauser at Jean Dennis. Dennis then who pole position in the AM class. Chris Froggatt could throw a surprise here, because the more these two are fighting, that's allowing Chris Froggatt to come back into this battle. And this battle is for potentially, or it could become, for the AM lead, because Jens Liebhauser is slowing Jean Dennis. That's allowing Chris Froggatt onto the back of Jean Dennis. So with 3.5 minutes left, it's going to be tight, but Chris Froggatt will sense there's an opportunity here to convert P2 in the AM classification to P1 potentially. I would say that Jens Liebhauser has taken so much out of his tyres in the early stages of this race. You'll recall that he had contact with and a real battle with Sam Smith, that the car probably hasn't got quite the same pace as Jean Dennis. So now Dennis all over the back of Liebhauser. Chris Froggatt getting ever closer to Jean Dennis now. So the battle for P3 in the race overall. So Alessandro Vezzoni, who's done some really, really hard defending during the course of the race, and has had to do some really hard defending during the course of the race. He continues to have to do some really hard defending. So the battle for P1 in the AMs is between Chris Froggatt and Jean Dennis, but Chris isn't close enough yet. Really needs, what he needs here is for Jens Liebhauser to get on the back of Vezzoni, and for the whole lot to bunch up. That would gift him the opportunity to get closer to Jean Dennis. So Vezzoni, Liebhauser, then it's Dennis, and then it is Chris Froggatt. So there is the British driver, who's currently P2 in the AM race, being led by the yellow car ahead of him of Jean Dennis. Now Chris Froggatt does just inch a bit closer to Jean Dennis, but we're on the final lap. So he's going to have one more lap in which to do this. Now I think the gap is just, unless there's a mistake from Jean Dennis, then not sure Chris is going to be able to do it on pace and pace alone. We will see. Here comes Alessandro Vezzoni. Here's Jens Liebhauser. Jean Dennis to the inside of Jens Liebhauser now. Not quite close enough, or is he? Now this slows both of them and should allow Chris Froggatt to get ever closer. Jean Dennis wasn't successful in trying to find his way past Jens Liebhauser. And it plays into the hands a little bit of the driver of the number 93 car, Chris Froggatt, because he is able to get closer now, but the opportunities for overtaking are so hard to find here at the Mugello circuit, as Niklas Nielsen, who once again has been utterly flawless in his driving and has led Bjorn Grossman from the off, is heading towards making it 4 wins out of 4 starts, which does eclipse 2 seasons, it has to be said, because he took 2 wins here at the end of the season last year. And we're back in Mugello for the start of the 2018 racing season. But nonetheless, wins are wins, and Niklas Nielsen has one more turn to do before seeing the checkered flag for the 4th time in his Ferrari Challenge racing career for Formula Racing. Niklas Nielsen once again will be victorious and takes the win at Mugello, followed by the German driver Björn Grossman, who takes a P2. The Formula Racing team are very, very happy. And then there's this big battle, which actually promised so much and delivered so little in the end. Alessandro Vezzoni and Jens Liebhauser are going to go for a last dash lunge. Well, I think he thought about it and then actually lost out in terms of grip. So Alessandro Vezzoni will take P3. Jens Liebhauser will be P4. Jan Dennis will be P5, which is P1 in the AMS. Chris Froggatt will take P6. It's been a stellar performance from Henry Hassid, who will cross the line P7, moving up from grid position P16 to P7 in the race. Great driving from Henry Hassid. Fabian Volvend will take P8. Vincenzo Potoliccio takes P9. Martin Nelson banks another podium in the AMS. It's P10 in the race, but P3 in the AM class. Wow. What a Trofeo Pirelli race that was. We're on board with Tommaso Rocca looking at the Christian Overgaard car. And the marshals wave the flags.